The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly, broken only by the sharp silhouette of HFY's reconnaissance ship. Her fingers moved swiftly across intricate control panels, scanning the distant human colony that glimmered like a fragile jewel against the black canvas of space. HFY knew her mission was clear. Her people, the Crax civilization, had been monitoring human expansion for decades. Intelligence reports painted humans as chaotic, unpredictable creatures, dangerous in their simplicity and remarkable in their adaptability. She had trained for years to understand their weaknesses, to exploit their potential vulnerabilities. Her ship's advanced sensors began collecting data. The human colony on Epsilon 9 looked deceptively peaceful. Metallic structures reflected soft, starlight communication arrays pulsed with rhythmic signals, and defensive systems hummed with quiet intensity. Everything seemed calculated yet somehow organic. The young pilot adjusted her dark combat suit, its nano-adaptive material shifting like liquid mercury against her skin. Each movement was precise, each breath controlled. Her training had been ruthless, eliminate potential threats before they could emerge. The Crax believed in preemptive defense, a philosophy that had kept their civilization safe for thousands of solar cycles. Her communication systems picked up random human transmissions, agricultural reports, maintenance logs, personal conversations, a chaotic symphony of information that seemed both meaningless and intricate. Humans communicated differently. They shared emotions, random thoughts, personal experiences, something her own civilization would consider inefficient. Epsilon 9's planetary landscape revealed itself slowly. Rocky terrain mixed with artificial terraforming zones. Massive agricultural domes created perfect geometric patterns, while industrial complexes suggested technological capability far beyond simple survival mechanisms. These humans were not just surviving. They were deliberately expanding, deliberately transforming environments to suit their needs. HFY's mission parameters were straightforward: assess, document, and prepare for potential conflict. Her civilization had determined human expansion, needed controlled intervention. They were not interested in total destruction, but in strategic limitation. Her ship's stealth systems engaged, rendering her almost invisible against the cosmic background. Years of technological advancement allowed near-perfect camouflage. She could observe without being detected, collect intelligence without raising alarms. Suddenly, unexpected energy signatures emerged from the colony's defensive perimeter. Something was different. The human systems responded with a complexity that suggested more than simple technological capability. They seemed adaptive, intelligent design mixed with unpredictable response mechanisms. Her heart rate remained steady. Emotional control was a core principle of Crax military training. Yet something about this mission felt different. The data, streaming through her systems, told a story more complex than standard threat assessments. The colony below seemed alive, not just as a collection of structures and systems, but as an organism. Humans moved between zones, machinery hummed, communication, networks pulsed with constant activity. It was almost like watching a living, breathing entity rather than a standard interstellar settlement. HFY zoomed her visual systems, capturing minute details. Workers in protective suits maintained complex agricultural systems. Engineering teams repaired massive industrial machinery. Children played in carefully designed recreational zones. Every aspect seemed intentional, every movement purposeful. Her initial assessment began taking shape. These humans were not simply a species to be controlled or eliminated. They represented something more nuanced, a civilization in dynamic transformation, constantly adapting, constantly growing. As her ship continued its silent observation, HFY realized her mission might require more than standard tactical approaches. The humans below were not just a potential threat. They were a complex, evolving system that defied traditional understanding. Something unexpected was about to happen. She could feel it in the subtle vibrations of her ship's systems, in the way the colony below seemed to breathe with its own unique rhythm. The mission was no longer just about observation. It was about to become something entirely different. The silence of space erupted into chaos in mere seconds, He-1's ship shuddered violently, warning systems screaming with urgent red alerts. Unexpected energy pulses from the human colony's defense grid had found her vessel's weak point, transforming her perfect stealth mission into a desperate survival scenario. Electrical systems sparked and died. Her advanced navigation controls flickered between functionality and complete failure. The ship's hull groaned under immense stress, nanomaterials struggling to maintain structural integrity against the unexpected assault. He-1's training kicked in immediately. Her hands moved with practiced precision, redirecting emergency power, attempting to stabilize the rapidly deteriorating systems. But something was different about this attack. It wasn't random. It felt calculated, intelligent. A response that suggested the humans were far more technologically advanced than her initial reports had indicated. The ship began its uncontrolled descent toward Epsilon 9's rocky terrain. Outside, the viewport, the planet's surface transformed from a distant landscape to an approaching nightmare of jagged rocks and harsh terrain. Survival protocols activated automatically, but He-1 knew the chances were slim. Her body tensed against the impact restraints. Years of combat training had prepared her for extreme scenarios, but nothing could truly prepare someone for a potential, fatal crash. The ship spun, atmospheric friction creating a hellish red glow around the exterior hull. Memories flashed through her mind, brief moments of her life before this mission. The rigorous training, the countless simulations, the pride of being selected for this critical reconnaissance. Now those memories seemed like distant whispers against the immediate reality of potential destruction. The ship's artificial intelligence began emergency landing protocols. Multiple systems failed simultaneously. Cooling mechanisms collapsed. Navigation went offline, and life support began to fluctuate dangerously. He-1's specialized combat suit activated additional protective measures, but even its advanced technology had limits. Impact was inevitable. The ground rushed up with terrifying speed. Rocky terrain became a blur of potential death. He-1 braced herself, knowing that survival was now a matter of seconds, of pure chance of whatever technology could protect her from the imminent collision. A thunderous crash shook the entire landscape. Debris scattered across the rocky ground, burning fragments of advanced technology creating small fires in the harsh planetary environment. The ship's hull split open like a broken shell, revealing the damaged interior and the lone pilot within. Silence followed the chaos. For several minutes, nothing moved. The wreckage steamed and crackled, broken systems releasing final bursts of electrical energy. Dust settled around the crashed vessel, creating an eerie landscape of destruction and stillness. Inside the ship, He-1 remained motionless. Her specialized suit had absorbed much of the impact, but the crash had been extreme. Life support. Systems struggled, creating a soft, desperate humming that broke the surrounding silence. External sensors continued functioning, scanning the immediate environment, rocky terrain, distant structures, environmental conditions. All data continued to stream, even as the ship's primary systems failed. The suit's emergency protocols kept critical information flowing, a last desperate attempt to maintain communication and survival. He-1's breathing was shallow. The crash had been more severe than any simulation had prepared her for. Her body felt heavy, systems within her specialized suit working overtime to prevent total system failure. Each breath was a battle, each moment a challenge to survival. The landscape around the crash site remained unchanged. No immediate rescue seemed possible. No movement suggested potential help. She was alone, damaged, in the middle of a hostile planetary environment, with her mission now transformed from reconnaissance to pure survival. Something moved in the distant landscape, a faint signal, a potential rescue, or perhaps something else entirely. The story of survival was just beginning. The morning light crawled slowly across Epsilon 9's rocky terrain. David Miller's standard patrol route took him through the most challenging sections of the colonial landscape, a routine he had performed countless times over the past 3 years. His environmental monitoring vehicle moved smoothly across the uneven ground, advanced sensors scanning for any unusual readings. Most days were predictable. Minor geological shifts, occasional equipment malfunctions, typical planetary maintenance scenarios. But today felt different. Something in the data stream caught his attention. Unusual energy signatures, debris patterns that didn't match standard geological formations. A heat signature that seemed out of place with the surrounding environment. David adjusted his scanning parameters, zooming digital imaging systems toward the unusual location. What he saw made him pause. A crashed vessel, not human technology. Something completely alien. His training kicked in immediately. Protocol suggested maintaining distance, reporting to Central Command, waiting for specialized rescue teams. But something about the crash site looked wrong. The energy readings suggested a living entity might still be inside. He checked his communication systems. Signal was weak in this region. Typical colonial communication challenges. A decision needed to be made quickly. David knew the risks. An alien vessel could be a potential threat. Military protocols were clear. Maintain safe distance, report immediately. But the humanitarian protocols spoke differently. A potential life in danger demanded immediate action. His vehicle's systems began detailed scanning. The vessel's design was unlike anything in current interstellar databases. Advanced technology, completely foreign structural components. Whoever, or whatever, was inside represented something entirely unknown. The environmental suit he wore provided basic protection. Designed for planetary exploration, it could handle potential biological contamination, radiation risks, unexpected environmental challenges. Still, approaching an unknown alien crash site wasn't standard procedure. David's hands moved across control systems. One final scan. Life signs were minimal but present. Something was alive inside that broken vessel. He made his decision. The vehicle moved closer to the crash site. Dust kicked up around the wheels, creating small clouds that danced across the rocky ground. Each meter felt like a potential risk, each movement a calculated gamble. The vessel looked more damaged up close. Advanced materials fragmented, complex technological systems exposed and broken. Whatever had happened during the crash was extreme. Survival seemed impossible. Yet the life signs remained. David's hand hovered over the emergency extraction controls. One wrong move could trigger unknown defensive systems. One mistake could mean total destruction. The alien technology looked volatile, potentially dangerous, but something human drove him forward. The basic instinct to save a life, regardless of its origin. His vehicle's external arms began carefully removing debris. Precise movements, calculated risks. Each action was designed to minimize potential damage, to create a safe extraction pathway. The first glimpse of the alien pilot confirmed everything and nothing. A humanoid form, contained within an advanced combat suit. Different yet somehow familiar. Technology that suggested incredible advancement, yet vulnerability. Extraction became a delicate dance of technology and human intuition. David's training merged with something more fundamental, the simple desire to preserve life. The alien's life support systems were failing. His medical training, combined with the vehicle's advanced emergency protocols, would need to work perfectly. This was beyond standard rescue. This was a potential first contact scenario. As he carefully moved the alien pilot, David realized something profound was happening. This wasn't just a rescue. This was a moment that could change everything. For him, for the colony, potentially for entire civilizations. The first step toward understanding began with a simple, human choice. To save a life, regardless of its origin. Rescue was just the beginning of something much larger. The medical bay hummed with silent technology. David moved carefully around the alien pilot, her specialized combat suit presenting challenges far beyond standard human medical protocols. Advanced sensors tracked every minute biological response, creating a complex web of data that challenged everything medical science understood. He-Wan's body was unlike anything in human medical databases. Her biological systems operated on fundamentally different principles: oxygen absorption, cellular regeneration, internal organ structures. Everything was alien yet somehow familiar. David's hands moved with practiced precision. Years of colonial, medical training had prepared him for unexpected scenarios, but nothing compared to this moment. Each adjustment of her life support systems was a careful dance between human technology and alien biology. The universal medical kit he carried represented humanity's most advanced medical technology. Nano-adaptive systems could interface with multiple biological structures, creating customized treatment protocols in real time. But this was different. This was first contact medicine. Her combat suit became both protection and challenge. Complex systems designed to keep her alive now required careful deconstruction. David used specialized cutting tools, each movement calculated to prevent additional damage. Vital signs flickered between stability and critical failure. Her respiratory system responded differently to oxygen introduction. Cellular regeneration patterns suggested an entirely different approach to healing. What would kill a human seemed merely a minor interruption for her biological structure. Temperature regulation became the first critical challenge. Her body's internal systems responded differently to environmental changes. David adjusted atmospheric conditions, creating a hybrid environment that balanced her alien physiology with survival requirements. Monitoring systems displayed incomprehensible data streams, biological markers that made no sense in human medical understanding. Her cellular structure showed remarkable resilience, adapting to medical interventions in ways that seemed almost intelligent. Hours passed. Each minute was a battle between human medical technology and the aliens' complex biological systems. David worked without rest, his focus absolute. This was more than a medical procedure. This was a potential bridge between civilizations. The medical bay's artificial intelligence worked alongside him, processing billions of data points each second. Complex algorithms attempted to understand the alien pilot's biological makeup, creating adaptive treatment protocols in real time. Something unexpected began happening. As medical interventions continued, He-Wan's body started responding in surprising ways. Cellular regeneration accelerated. Damaged systems began repair processes that defied standard medical understanding. David realized he wasn't just treating an injury. He was witnessing a completely different approach to biological survival. Her body didn't just heal, it actively transformed, adapted, responded to medical intervention with an intelligence that seemed almost conscious. Specialized nutrient solutions were carefully introduced. Each chemical compound was a carefully calculated risk. Too much could destroy her biological systems. Too little could prevent critical recovery. The balance was delicate, precise. Her specialized combat suit continued providing critical life support. David worked to integrate human medical technology with the suit's advanced systems. It was like performing surgery on two living organisms, simultaneously, the pilot and her technological protection. Blood analysis revealed complex molecular structures that challenged everything human science understood about biological systems. Her cellular composition suggested evolutionary processes far beyond human comprehension. Each data point was a scientific breakthrough waiting to be understood. As hours turned into a full day, something profound became clear. This wasn't just a medical intervention. This was a moment of potential universal understanding. A human saving an alien life represented something more than a simple rescue. David's hands never wavered. His focus remained absolute. Each medical adjustment was a careful step toward potential communication, potential understanding. The medical bay remained silent except for the soft humming of advanced technology. A human and an alien, connected through the most fundamental of all potential interactions, the preservation of life. Survival was just the beginning of something much larger. Consciousness returned slowly for He-Wan. The first sensation was warmth unlike anything she had experienced before. Her body felt different, healing, adapting, transformed by an experience completely foreign to her understanding. David sat nearby, monitoring her recovery. His eyes showed a mixture of scientific curiosity and something deeper, genuine concern for a life form entirely different from his own. The medical bay remained quiet, filled with soft technological hums and gentle monitoring systems. Her memories of the crash fragmented, uncertain. The last thing she remembered was her ship spinning out of control, systems failing, the planet rushing toward her with terrifying speed. Now, she was alive, saved by a species her civilization had considered potential enemies. The human medical technology surrounding her was unlike anything in Crack's databases. Complex systems that seemed to breathe with intelligence, adaptable protocols that responded to her changing biological needs. Each sensor, each monitoring device told a story more complex than simple medical intervention. David noticed her first movements. His approach was careful, deliberate. No sudden movements, no aggressive gestures. Everything about his body language suggested peaceful communication, a desire to understand rather than threaten. "You're safe," he said simply. Two words that carried more weight than entire diplomatic negotiations. HFY's translation systems worked overtime, processing the human language. Her combat suit's internal systems had been partially repaired, allowing basic communication. But something felt different. This wasn't a tactical interaction. This was something else entirely. Her initial mission seemed distant now. The idea of confrontation, of potential conflict, felt almost ridiculous in this moment of unexpected connection. The human who had saved her represented something her civilization had never understood. Compassion beyond strategic advantage. Days passed. Medical recovery became a process of mutual discovery. David explained human medical techniques. HFY shared fragments of her own biological understanding. Each conversation was a bridge between two completely different civilizations. The colonial medical team remained cautious but curious. Initial fear of the alien visitor transformed into scientific excitement. Each test, each observation revealed something profound about potential interstellar life. HFY's body continued its remarkable healing process. Her specialized combat suit worked in harmony with human medical technology, creating a hybrid approach to recovery that suggested something more than simple medical intervention. Cultural differences became apparent. Her rigid military training conflicted with the human approach of individual compassion. Where her civilization saw potential threats, these humans saw potential communication. Where she expected conflict, they offered understanding. David shared stories about the colony. Agricultural challenges, technological developments, daily human experiences. Each story became a window into a civilization far more complex than her initial intelligence reports had suggested. Something fundamental was changing, not just in her understanding of humans, but in her entire perspective of interstellar existence. The mission of potential conflict had transformed into an opportunity for unprecedented communication. Her communication with her home civilization became complicated. The reports she would send back would challenge everything the Cracks understood about human potential. This was more than a mission report. This was a potential pathway to understanding. The medical bay became a space of transformation, not just physical healing, but a deeper, more profound change. Two different life forms, two different civilizations, finding common ground in the most unexpected of circumstances. As her strength returned, HFY realized her mission had changed. She was no longer a potential conqueror. She had become something else. A bridge, a potential pathway to understanding between two different civilizations. David's final words before her complete recovery captured everything. Some differences are meant to be understood, not conquered. The story of first contact had just begun, and it started with a simple act of saving a life. Survival was just the beginning of something much larger.